This is the Side of the Net podcast in association with the BFG podcast. Today's guest is another guest from the Wellington Phoenix women's team, and this is Saskia Vosper. Welcome, Saskia. It's a pleasure to have you on today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, would you like to start, maybe, Jonathon?
Yeah, sure. So you are someone that we have been super keen to get on and have a chat with. And one of the reasons why is that you have an incredible sense of humour. What do you bring to the team with your personality and your sense of humour? Like, how does that play out?
I think I'm just someone that kind of reads the room and reads kind of what everyone needs. Whether it is a bit of a joke or a bit of like just a kind word or like just an ear to listen to them. Yeah, that's pretty much what I bring to the team. I kind of just morph into whatever everyone needs.
Cool. And you know, one of the quintessential photos that's come out of this season is one that Photomac got, and that was you carrying Chloe on your back off the field into the tunnel. I mean, describe that moment. What was going on with you two?
Well, she'd obviously just come off from like a 90-minute game, and she'd run probably around like 10 or 11 Ks during that game. So obviously her legs were shot. Mine not so much. So I decided, she needs a little bit of an extra hand getting to the tunnel, getting through the tunnels. And me and Chloe have been like real close, obviously through Wollongong last year, and we were roommates, so we had extra time together. And so we've gotten really close over the past 2 years, and so I was just like, "Come on, hop on, I'll take you to the changing rooms."
Very cool. Okay, something a little bit more serious. How would you describe yourself as a footballer in 3 words?
In three words.
3 words.
I would say versatile. Versatile. Probably passionate. And then last word. That's so hard. It's a caring footballer. Like I care about like everyone. So yeah.
Very cool. Everyone gets asked that question. It's one we throw in early to help shape the conversations that we are talking about football. Yeah. Now, looking back in your younger years, you played forward. You played forward up the front there, and now you're playing more at the back. Which position? Where do you prefer to be on the pitch? Up the front, at the back? What's a preferred area for you?
Currently, it's definitely as a defender. That's where I've been training for the past couple of years. I mean, I'm always happy to go up front and play as a winger when the team needs me there. And it gives a little bit of a challenge, obviously, like just to fit myself back into like the attacking mindset. But as a fullback, like we do get forward and we do help with the attacks anyway. So it's not too big of a difference, like coming from a defender, fullback, especially, to playing as a winger. So.
Yeah. Cool. And just carrying on that, what are the traits that make a good defender, a good fullback? What are the skills or what's the mindset that you need?
Well, you definitely have to be able to join in on the attack. So you have to have a decent amount of fitness, right? Being able to run back and forth and help the team defend. So you need to be good at when your 1v1s. You need to be good at delivering into the box, so your crosses, and ideally being able to do that on both feet would be the best, the optimal fullback, right? So I think those are the 3 key things, really.
Cool. Holly?
So I wanted to ask, how did you get selected for that inaugural next squad?
Have to go to Gemma to ask her that. But I've been training with FFDP for the past like 4 years. So that's the Future Fern Development Program. And so we were training as a squad, then would be playing Thursday night games against the boys. And so I've obviously been under Gemma for like the past, I think she's coached 2 years at that squad, and then I was keen to be a part of the first next team. And so then when the call came, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely getting on that flight. Tell me when, and I'll pack my bags. And so yeah, I'm just grateful to be given that opportunity, and then to be given it again this season was amazing.
How good to be able to draw on that program, and on because the team was made at such a late notice, so it was really handy that there are so many people that draw on.
Yeah, definitely.
So I wanted to ask also, how important has your family been as part of your development as a player?
Like they've been there every step of the way. I only really got into football when I moved to New Zealand, so I've grown up overseas. And my brother and my dad. So my brother's younger than me, but his thing was football, and I did other things. And my dad has been playing as well. So when I wasn't although I wasn't in a team, I'd like go and play and kick a ball around with my brother and my dad on the weekends. And that foot-eye coordination going, because that's something that not everyone has. And then when we moved to New Zealand, they pretty much were like, okay, you can do whatever you want. And I chose football to get into some teams and to find my friends, I guess, and find new people. And then from there on, they would be supporting me every step of the way. Every camp that I needed to go to, they'd take me there. They'd pay the fees. And then especially this year, like when they've been able to come down from Auckland, they've come down and supported the team, which is awesome. And it's amazing to see them and be able to play in front of them at this level.
Awesome. We usually ask about family, and the responses are often very similar, that how supportive families have been, and I think it really indicates how important it is to have those support structures in there. It must be very difficult if you don't. So I'm glad to hear your family were very supportive.
No. Especially last year, because last year we were away from them for like 4 and a bit months, 5 months, and I was on FaceTime pretty much every week for at least 2 hours, or like more than once a week, because I've got a younger sister who's now 12, so like seeing her like grow up, like missing 4 months is not a long time, but it is a long time in the sense of like your sister. So just being able to catch up with her on FaceTime, but then this year, like being able to see her a lot more, it's like,
yeah, that must have been tough.
You can't replace that.
So we also wanted to ask about diversity in football. What ideas might you have, or suggestions about how we get a better cross-section of New Zealand playing football? Obviously, it's not the dominant sport in New Zealand. How do we get potentially more people playing across more aspects of society? It's a bit of a tough one.
I think the best thing that we can do is just expose it more and get like that interest growing. It's great that we've got the Phoenix now, like the women's Phoenix, so that young girls especially have someone to look up to, and say, oh, they like that is like an actual career pathway that we can achieve in New Zealand, and not having to like look overseas, or because I know when I was growing up, I was just watching the men's Premier League. Like I never really watched women's football, and it's only like in the past couple of years that I've gotten into it, because obviously it's good growing, but I don't know how we get more communities in it. I think it's just making it more accessible, and that's up to I guess the local clubs, and just
Jonathan, did you want to ask the next question?
Actually, I will ask the next question, but just before I do, just circling back to your family and football. So, are you the first person in your family to be a professional player?
Yeah.
Nice. So, is your brother and your dad a bit jealous of that, or are they're like?
No, they're both gunning for me, so they just want me to do the best that I can do. And they just love football, so just to have a professional footballer in the family is enough for them, I guess.
That is very cool. That's very cool. Now, looking back, we're just going to go back a little bit. We're just going to kind of like wind the clock back a little bit to some of your younger years. And you played for Forest Hill Milford. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's correct.
And there were some pretty gun players who come out of that club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been.
Who would you like? I mean, I'm just trying to think. So what's so good about Forest Hill Milford that they're able to create so much talent in women's football? What's the secret?
I don't know. I remember when I was back there, like it was just about the coaching, and the players around you, right? So when I think I was like 14 or 13 when I first arrived, and I was playing in the women's reserves team. The reserves at that point was like an actual like from like I think the oldest person was like 35 or something. So it isn't what the reserves is like kind of now. Like we were actually playing with women, and so to have them and like to have them building you up and like kind of like taking you under their wing and just showing you all that they can, and it was great. And then also the coaching staff. So I had Ryan Faithful, and he's a massive coach, and he's gone over to the US and coached at Seattle, I believe, and now he's come back and is coaching at Western Springs. So like the caliber of coaching that I had back at at Forest Hill was definitely had a huge impact on like the way that I've developed as a player.
And then so you're at Forest Hill and you get selected to play for the New Zealand under-17s in 2016, which is a few years ago now. But
yeah, don't remind me. It's getting old.
There were a few big names that have come out of that side that you play with. So here's a pop quiz. How about we get you to name 5 players who were in that squad then that you played with who are names on the football scene now?
Okay, well, Claudia Bunch, Michaela Foster, obviously, Malia Steinman, Grace Darley, and Elite. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Very good. You got a good memory because the other 2 names that we had down were Rebecca and Jackie, both played in that squad too.
Oh, yeah. Jackie Hand and Rebecca Lake, yeah.
Yeah. So that must have, I mean, that's, 5-6 years later, all that, those players are now suddenly on the big stage. That's pretty cool.
Yes, no, it's definitely amazing to see them do their thing, and just showing the world who they are.
Blake, do you want to fire a couple of questions?
Okay, so me and Jonathan have had the pleasure of walking around your beautiful facilities, and we've asked this is another sort of stock standard question that we ask everyone. So, what do you like most about them?
The facilities. The pitches. You can't really beat them. they're not always mowed, but I mean they're better than any of the other pitches that I've ever played on. And to have pretty much everything that you need within like one space. So you have your ice bath, you have the cryotherapy, so you got your hot tubs, you have everything that you need. The gym. I personally like the gym. The gym's very good. Yeah, I don't know. Like you can't really pinpoint one specific thing that is the best out of all of it, because it is just the best in general.
That's cool that you say the gym, because a lot of people that we have spoken to usually vote for the pools or the sauna room. So
No, I like the gym.
And another thing, I was researching what you like to do for hobbies and stuff like that, and I noticed that you like a bit of music.
Yes, I do love music.
Yes, yeah. That's what I do in my spare time. So away from the pod and away from media, I do a bit of music as a side hobby. So what do you like about music that you do? Because we've seen you potter around on the piano and stuff like that. So was it always around the family home, or yeah?
Growing up, I was pretty much forced to take music lessons, well, piano lessons specifically. But at that time, I hated, doing the hour of like what's practice every day. I was like, oh, mom, why, and then I decided to get into like other things. Like I played flute for a bit, I played violin for a bit, all through school. And then we moved away from Indonesia and moved here. And then we got rid of our piano, so I didn't have to do lessons again. But then I found that I just wanted to play. You're like, oh, I don't have to do the practice anymore, but I really just want to play. So every time I go over to friends' houses, or there'll be a piano at school or something, I'll just sit down and just play for a bit. And the best thing I find about music is that you just get lost in it. You can sit down intending to play like for 15 minutes or whatever, and then find yourself there an hour later and be like, oh, whoops. Oh well. But you just like lose yourself, and you kind of just all the stresses and whatnot of everyday life kind of you get forgotten about, and then you just get lost in what you're playing. Unfortunately, in Wellington, I don't really have a piano, but I can play the guitar. So I found so guitar's my like release, I guess, when I'm down here. So yeah. What kind of music are you into, Blake? Like, what do you do with music?
Well, I actually, when I can, I haven't done it so much because of the pandemic, but I used to do a lot of singing, mostly vocal, because I can't play any instruments. And I used to be in a couple of bands and stuff, at school and different things. So mostly vocals on my part, because my family has lineage in vocals and barbershops and stuff. So that's where I get it from. Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll be able to play the piano and you can sing along. We can figure that out.
But that would be fun. So you've got a few games left. So what would the goal for you for the end of the season be, going into the end of the season?
One of my goals would be probably to try to get as much game time as I can. Yeah, just like work my way up through trainings, and if I get the opportunity to step on the pitch, I will do the best I can and make the biggest impact that I can, and help the team get all the points that we can. And so we've got 12 points to win, and we're aiming obviously to get all 12 points. So we've got just Perth on the weekend, so we're just just aiming to get those 3 points, and then eventually I just add those up and hopefully get 12 by the end of it.
So that's sorry, Blake, but that's a tough ask because so in the back line for the Knicks, you've got Mackenzie, Kate, Claudia, Michaela, yourself, and one or two others that I've missed. So you getting back into that starting squad, you've got some, it's such a tough competition to get that playing time.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily gunning for the starting spot at the moment. I'm literally just trying to get as much minutes as I can. So just coming off the bench at an earlier time would be ideal. But, as we've got coming to the end of the season, we've got tired bodies. And hopefully, knock on wood, like injuries don't arise, but it's just the way of the game, right? So when I'm called upon, I'm just going to do the best that I can and make the biggest impact.
Cool. All right. So we got a bunch of kind of just like wind out. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we got a bunch of wind out questions now. So we're just going to ask you a few bits and pieces. We just kind of riff at this bit and make stuff up as we go along. So
Okay.
Here's a question. So who are your role models in football?
Mine was Eden Hazard, because my whole family's a Chelsea family. So growing up, Eden Hazard was like a big name in the house, and Frank Lampard for like just his leadership qualities and the way that he just commanded the pitch.
Do you have a game day routine? What do you do before the match to get yourself ready and in that special spot?
I just listen to the like 4 or 5 songs that I've got on repeat, and I just listen to them constantly. Usually, if it's a home game, I'd have like a big bowl of oats. I love a good bowl of oats. And then just try to like relax as much as I can. Because obviously the game day nerves get to you a little bit, and you get the butterflies. And if I don't have butterflies, there's a problem. I need a bit of like anxious energy. And then usually if those butterflies get too much, and I know when they're gonna get too much, I put on classical music, like check on some like some Beethoven, just to like calm my nerves a bit. So yeah,
Cool.
It's finding that good balance,
So of everyone in the Knicks team, whose closet would you want to raid to steal their style?
Oh, whose closet I want to raid? I mean, Alyssa's got like a lot of clothes, so there's probably a lot of things that I'm gonna love in there. And she's just got loads of hoodies. Alyssa, even Bree, they've got pretty good stuff. Yeah.
You wouldn't go with Coach Nat? You would go for a pair of shorts and gumboots?
I mean, I could pull it off probably, but no, I think I'll skip out on the gumboots and the shorts.
Cool. And then last one from me. If you were selected to go on Celebrity MasterChef as a contestant, which teammate would you take with you?
Oh, probably Rolo, Emma Rawson. Yeah, she's a foodie through and through. So she'll be able to work up something. Actually, last night she made an insane mac and cheese. So yeah, I've got some evidence that she's a good cook. That was her CV, that mac and cheese. So yeah, I think she's definitely the one to take with me.
Cool. I'll just throw it open to the other two and see if they've got any final questions.
Okay. So that obviously you can't give too much away, but what are you hoping to do after the season ends Are you hoping to go back to Australia? Are you hoping to have some time off? What are you hoping to do?
I'm definitely gonna go visit some family in England. I haven't seen them for a very long time, so I'm gonna hop on a plane, go over there, spend some time with them, and yeah, let's see what happens after that.
Maybe get a winter contract over there or something.
Yeah, that would be the best solution, the best thing to happen. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Anything from you, Holly?
Thanks for coming on with us.
Well, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're on mute again.
Thanks for coming on with us. It's always great to talk to the players. I really enjoy it.
Well, it's great seeing all your faces. But yeah, no, we should definitely organize something. Like with me on the piano and you singing along, or me on the guitar.
That'd be cool. So I'll just wrap this up. So we'd like to thank Saskia for coming on the program. You can see this in video form on YouTube where you can like and subscribe, and you can see us on all major audio platforms, whether that be Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and all of your favorite podcast platforms. We're always open for feedback, so if you got any feedback or people that you want us to try and get on, let us know. Other than that, we'll see you on the next one. Oops. Turn.
We're all very professional about this.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
not. This is